So they explain fire as a chemical reaction, right? They're wrong. Sure, perhaps you might be able to induce fire with chemicals or something. I'm not sure about that. Maybe the chemicals come together and create some kind of energy reaction that creates heat. Or maybe the atoms vibrate more, bumping into each other harder enough to unhammer the force or something. I don't know, but it's an energy reaction. Energy starts it, energy catalysts it. The red thing, like that big orange flaming thing, that's not chemicals doing that. That's energy rising out of the log, really, and like I don't know what's happening there. Well, I do some, I guess. But it gets hot enough that these little bits inside the atom go faster. The atom will obviously go faster. So that force isn't strong enough to hold that stuff there and a piece flies off. Kind of creates the flame. Flies upwards like it's lighter than air, right? It just hydrogen is like this one bit. I can't remember if it's a proton or a neutron, but it's one, and there's one electron going around it now. I guess oxygen is somehow heavier than it. I guess there's more electrons going around it. Maybe electrons have something to do with it doing this or something too. So I'm trying to defend your planet too, you know. I create things like blade weapons in space. They sort of spin and they fly and crazy stuff like that. Now I don't want you to go and ride through the universe destroying shit, because that could lead to another one of those unavoidable, inevitable ends if you do that. Anyways, it's affirming to a fate, really. Like, you go around destroying stuff, you affirm to the fate of, like, let's say, you kill the possible savior of the universe. You could kill the possible savior of the universe, but I'd say, you know, don't do that. Try to find another way at all costs, really. Like, let me explain this to you. Like, Species A, Species B, and Species C. Species B declares war on Species A. Let's say Species A is us. How would we react to that? Now there's Species C who influence Species B into going to war with us. Would we ever figure that out? I mean, think about that. I mean, don't sit there and assume. I hate it when people assume bullshit. Oh, we'd figure out that Species C did it. No, you would. You just go to war with Species B and fight them till they're dead, then Species C comes in and wipes you out. If you move around and talk to Species B somehow, like, say somebody goes covert somehow and finds an undefended planet and talks to them, and finds this information out that somebody like nonsense rumored us, go talk to Species C about it and see what they don't like about us. Don't go destroying them either, because, you know, that genetics thing, somebody like anybody could figure things out. All of a sudden, things are better. Now, if we on enamor money, things could get better or worse. It's really a system that you have to formulate around to work. You have to formulate a new driving force, really. Take away money, you have to put something else there to drive you forward. Now, that could be technology, like making your life better. It could be lots of things. Like, there's so many things out there, there's so many options. All you have to do is think. Think of what it could be. Like, stop relying on money. Seriously, stop relying on money to drive you forward. That's nonsense. Find a new way. It's not that difficult. You're just so old set. You seriously got your mind schooled on that shit so hard that you can't unspool it enough to figure out another way. You're nonsensed into agreeing with it because you think it's common sense or something, but it eventually goes obsolete just like everything else. It's a system and it's flawed. Look at you. Look at me. Look at everything around you. It's not perfect. You think something from the Dark Ages is perfect? Look at us. We're in a new Dark Ages because of it. Corporation uses it to take advantage of you. It's a tool. Now, what if Species C and Species B was left out and we still used money? They could generate a bunch of money that looks the same, and they could buy a bunch of resources from, like, just nonsense from us because we believe the money's actually worth something. Now, I don't like doing this because, you know, you'll think shit of it, but, you know, dirt could be money. Dirt has resources like nutrients in it, like, you know, that's another point about fire and atoms writhing apart, you know? Like, the plant takes up those nutrients and stuff and builds it into things. Like, you can't eat dirt and survive, but the plant somehow formulates it into nutrients for us. Now, you eat that stuff and, sure, you can, you know, do something and the plants can use that to build nutrients again, but that's not perpetual. You know that can't be perpetual, right? Somehow that stuff is reformulated into something else. Now there's a bunch of resources sitting around in junk piles that we could recycle into new stuff, and it could, you know, make stuff less expensive, but it keeps getting more and more expensive. Honestly, a DDR2 RAM stick and a DDR3 RAM stick is made of exactly the same stuff, and a bunch of that shit sits in the trash because you think it's obsolete. It is, but you can use those resources to rebuild that stuff. Now, a DDR2 stick can have, like, you know, a RAM chip on it like this big, and a DDR3 stick is better, and it's like this small. What if the DDR3 chip was this big too? That DDR3 stick would be better. And there's so many nonsenses to this. It just messes with me. It makes me nonsense, pissed off, rage. Imagine how fast we could ride forward without money inhibiting us from saying no to us. You know, I mean, it always says no, and then somebody can use it against us to inhibit us more. A person who comes up with idea number 1 is a genius, and then he can improve upon idea number 1 into idea number 1.01. What does he do? He's like, nah, I'm not going to do that because they'll just steal that shit from me. And he can't because it's already patented. He quite literally has to make an idea 2.0 or something. He has to ride with it again and then take it away by making it again. What are they doing? They're doing the same thing because they got the idea to work with. What nonsense is that? Because the creator created it. He knows it better than those fools do. And he can go beyond those guys. Now, the more times you do this shit to people, the more we set ourselves back in the future. You can understand that, right? I've been set back for 10 years, and imagine if I could, nabber this stuff up 10 years ago and focus on new things. I'm just like you, I forget ideas and I remember ideas and I ride them out all the time. Who knows what I created? It's nonsense to you, really. Because if there's something back there I don't remember, that's a little piece of the future gone. I mean, you're sitting there trying to patent an idea or something, you could seriously be thinking of other ideas instead of nonsensing around with the patent office, and you know, there could be something better than that. There could be something better than that. I mean, I could be patenting it on YouTube right now, really. There's already a perfect patent office in operation right now, and they don't even know it's happening. You want to inhibit yourself to the end? Well, go ahead and screw yourselves over, because if you screw me over, I'm going to be mad at you. And then when you ride up to that dead-end path, in a way, it's like my little revenge stick that says donk. I hope you don't nonsense yourself into foolery. You be smart about it. I know you can be. Obviously I am. You have the capability too. All you have to do is think of things yourself. I mean, yeah, you could go to college and learn BS. I learned this shit myself. I didn't go to college. You can check my records, really. I just went to high school, that's it. And I didn't even pay attention in high school. Learning could be fun too, you know. You know, back in the day, like they fed me these nonsense pills called Ritalin. They're quite literally speed.
My name is Flint.
They mess with your body quite a bit. Why did they give it to me? ADHD. ADHD could be easily an evolution. And what do? They pretend to know that it's not. What a bunch of fools. Idiots. Nonsense, foolish, bullshit, fucking idiots. Idiots. Oh, we know the brain so well. To feed up the feed. It slows it down, right? I mean, I'm all hyperactive and stuff. I'm bouncing off the walls and stuff. I can't concentrate on things because I'm concentrating on everything. Everything's just so new to me. I just want to see it all or something, you know? What's this? What's that? What's that over there? Eventually it calms down, you know? But they feed me speed to fuck with the chemicals in my brain that they don't know jack shit about. They don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to fix it or something. I don't really care. They really need to sit there and think about it, because that could be another inevitable end. Stopping evolution. Think about shit before you do it. Think about other stuff if you want to. I mean, you can think about that every once in a while, you know.
first stop.
take a little while.
Quarter-acre stretch of no man's land.
I mean, you could bullshit yourself into thinking this will work, and you can do it safely, and then you start a project on the moon. Honestly, it'd be like this little light's wrath or something, you know, Star's Wrath.
Landscapers dare to go.
There's so much concentrated light in it, and then it goes supercritical, and then a big flash of light happens.
Mosquitoes to be vanquished. And
They think the moon will protect them or something, right? I mean, they just jumped into the project, really.
backyardsman.
Hey, you know, be careful. These things could go supercritical boom. The planet gets hit by that stuff, and you know, I don't know. The star's light reaches us. You know what I mean? And that shit's super condensed. Just whoosh, and the planet's like. Literally. I mean, you know, I wouldn't be laughing at the death, but it's kind of ironic. Just, you know, take your time with things and don't do that to yourselves, because you guys will jump into time thinking that's okay, and you'll unenamor yourself in the past by accident. Anything can happen. There's all kind of BS ends and dead ends and BS shit. Be careful, you know. There's also, like, people out there who don't know better, who like rats and stuff, who could repeat you in time or something, just repeats you in time in a nonsense hell. Now, I don't know if you have to pull the trigger on that guy. He could be the guy who saves the universe. I mean, you really have to use the sword of love, knowledge, and wisdom. That's a pretty crazy sword, isn't it? But unfortunately for him, you might have to pull the trigger. And luckily for you, there's all kinds of things that can happen when you die. I mean, who knows what happens when you die? You could go to heaven. You could go to a place called Second Life with all your memories and no memories. I mean, if you exist now, you'll exist again, obviously. I mean, you're existing now, right? So if you go back to that place, to the void where you came from in the first place, and go back there and lose all your memories, you'll gain them back anyway. And all these aspects could kind of be stored into your personality or something. Like, the more you learn here, you sort of reclaim those things. Maybe. I mean, there's so many possibilities. You could quite literally turn out the same. You might even remember when you're reborn. This could quite literally be your first time. Who knows, this universe could be repeating itself right now, and this is like our 50th billionth chance. 13.7 billion later, so I live, it's my 15th billionth chance to, like, help you out. And who knows who's doing what. Any BS reality could exist. You guys don't know jack about reality. I mean, you know little bits and pieces of information and stuff. I mean, don't assume that you know it all. Don't assume that you're so darn livid smart. I mean, even though I have statutory over you, as an adult, you're an adult, right? I mean, I have statutory in a way, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe you're smarter than me. I'm actually quite infinitesimal. I'm a kid, really. No matter how high you rise up, you're still a child. I'm still a child. Seriously, it's true. I can go infinite, 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 I'm still a child. Infinite doesn't even mean endless to me. I mean, endless infinity does. Just endless, endless. What is infinity? I mean, an infinite number of staircases. Now that suggests a number to me. Now an endless number of staircases suggests more. And endless would be like this. You take a step up that staircase and a step generates itself up at the top of the staircase. Every step you take, a new step generates at the top of the staircase. I mean, it quite literally could be like that for you. So if you reach a point, never stop writhing for the future, you know what I mean? Because that could be another end. There's so many of those, you know. Oh, and you guys never fantasize, really. I mean, I don't know about fantasizing right now. But, yeah. I'm basically talking about, you know, like, it's one of those BSNs. Like, fantasy could be a sense, in a way. Like, let's say you genetically enhance yourself with sensory organs, and your fantasy could process that. I mean, it shows you an image of what's going on, really. I mean, it hooks up to your fantasy like a graphics card or something. And the imager is quite literally in your brain too. I mean, it's quite literally a big screen. I mean, I know it's not fun to fantasize, but it's pretty fun to use that as a sense with an extra sensory organ. Like, I don't know. You guys could figure that out. Michio Kaku talks about some stuff like that. Maybe that could work for that stuff. Like, he always talks about hooking up like this to the computer or something. Imagine controlling the computer with your brain. That'd be cool. Computer screen could be in your brain, you know, and you could like make choices with your brain and play a computer game that way. That'd be cool. Now, you guys be careful and don't make stupid choices. Sure, there's going to be times when you don't have time to make a choice, and, you know, I don't know what you do then. I mean, you seriously want to come up with a better option. Sometimes it happens to people. They'll come up with an option, like a nonsense quick fix. I mean, they nonsense quick fix things all the time, and it ends up being nonsense, and they wish that they long fixed it. You know what I mean? There's plenty of examples of this around. Quite literally, Ritalin. Ritalin is a quick fix. What would have fixed it? Making learning fun to make me focus on learning, really. Kind of interesting, that. Luckily for me, high school is quite literally a lot of nonsense anyways. Math could have been useful. Science class, they kind of didn't enamor that up for me very much. I mean, it was just nonsense, really. Could have been chemistry or something, or magnet physics. I don't know. It could have been stuff and stuff. What do they want me to do? They want me to dissect a frog. I mean, why do they want me to dissect a frog? I see organs. What do they do? I mean, maybe they explain things to me. I mean, I just see lumps and bumps and things that I don't want to see anyways. I mean, they could teach me stuff while I mess with things, and they kind of didn't let me. They would let the other students. Kind of interesting that too. Certain things I wouldn't want to do anyway. But yeah, make sure, I mean, you know, if a problem is about to rise itself up that you don't know about, I mean, Space Thwart is out there coming towards us like asteroid coming towards us. I mean, you should think about that problem before it comes instead of thinking about that problem when you see it coming. And you probably already do that, but I'm talking about Space Thwart. Could be anything, really. I mean, I could nonsense an asteroid, I guess, you know. You could put like a magnet on a planet or something. Or have some mass somewhere, like make these little mass balls in space. Mass balls in space, like, they have magnets on them, they can move around and stuff, and there's this asteroid, and you quite literally dig a magnet onto this thing, and then you move this thing up and drag it away or something. You can make a chain of magnets, and they could all pull on each other. In space, it doesn't take much to move an asteroid. It's frictionless out there. There's not much gravity except for the mass and the mass, like the asteroid and what you're moving it with. So, like, you know, once you connect the magnets up, you can use the electromagnetic force and pulse it on. If it pulls one way or the other, I mean, you can pull it and pull it and pull it. And these magnets are sort of writhing around. I mean, as well as that, is you can make this weird magnet bridge through space. I mean, the electromagnetic magnet pulls this thing and pushes this thing. Like, this magnet pushes it, this magnet over pulls it, and then the electromagnet turns off, and this thing switches, and this thing pushes it, and the other magnet pulls it. You could figure that one out.